Yo, what's up? This is Hal in Philly. How's it going? Right now, I'm in my car listening to Dave Canyon on Dumbing It Down with Dave, the fastest podcast on earth. It's about pragmatism, truth, happiness, and the search for it all. And now, here's Dave.
The following podcast is rated D for dumb. You're listening to Dumbing It Down with Dave, the fastest podcast on earth. Listen to Dave commute to and from work on the New York State Thruway in his 2008 Kia Rio LX. He talks about pragmatism, truth, happiness, and the search for it all. Join Dave as he asks and tells you how life ought to be. And now, here's Dave.
Oh boy. Hello everybody. Welcome to Dumbing It Down with Dave. I got some stuff to tell you. You ready for me to dumb it down? Here we go. I got to tell you, something is either up with my Spreaker recording app, which I will be sending a report to Spreaker support, or something is happening with my iPhone. Because today, I'm sitting here in the Walmart parking lot in Rensselaer, and I'm getting ready to record, setting up my vehicle. I had to go do some shopping, so I'm here setting up my vehicle and all that. And I go to the Spreaker recording app, and everything in my effects column is gone. Everything you just heard was from a whole nother source. And that's why the applause didn't overlap into the other applause or whatever. It's all, once you hit one button, it starts. Once you hit another button, the previous button, it ends that. So a little behind the scenes look or listen or whatever you want to call it that you normally wouldn't get from any other podcast because they wouldn't admit they have a problem. But I'm admitting it. Spreaker, we have a problem. It's either my phone or it's your app. I'm guessing it's my phone. But, I'm going to send a report because there's a button. You send a report, and then, a day later they ask you more information. And I never follow up because I'm never home to follow up. So I don't even know why I bother filling out these reports. I got to do some research. I got to get another phone. I got to get a brand new phone. This is iPhone 6S. I got to get an iPhone 7 or an 8. I got to upgrade. I got to get something newer, because they say they operate slower as they get older and all that. So anyway, but the Apple Store is closed from what I understand. All right, anyway, everybody, hello. Welcome to Dumbing It Down with Dave. This is Dave Canyon, your one and only solo podcast host. It is Saturday morning, and it is March 28th. Wow, it is at the end of March. We're a week into spring. This is fantastic. We had a little snow the other day, but we are now getting into spring, but no matter what we do, we're under this coronavirus thing. But it is springtime, and hopefully it'll warm up. For some people believe that the heat, helps get rid of the coronavirus. I'm curious if that's true. What temperature does it have to be at? Do I have to go sit in a tanning booth? Wouldn't that be hilarious if sitting in a tanning booth got rid of the coronavirus? I don't know if it would make you immune to it, but that would be kind of something, that it kills it. I mean, listen, I'm just washing my hands and wiping down my vehicles and all that other stuff. But anyway, I'm curious about the warmer climates of the world. Do they have lower numbers? But then again, the populations are usually going to be smaller than China or New York City. So I expect the numbers to be different. But there are mathematicians that can sort of level it all out. I'm kind of curious what that looks like around the globe with the warmer temperatures. Are there, in fact, lower reported cases of coronavirus and also lower reported cases of death due to coronavirus? Anyway, wow, I can't believe all my effects are gone. And then what I tried to do is I try to upload the effects into the effects part of the app, and they load in, but they won't play. So everything is slowly deteriorating. I wonder at this point, should I just delete the entire app and then bring it back? I don't think that's going to damage anything, but I'm not going to make any hasty decisions until I speak to Spreaker support. So I got to send in another report today. Anyway, today is March 28th. It is, in fact, is it 8 o'clock? It is 8 a.m., which is great. No, it's 9 a.m. I'm sorry. It's 9 a.m., and it's gray skies right now, but not like Well, it is going to rain later. So, yeah, it's gray skies, but not that gray. It's not sunny out. So it's usually very sunny when I do a podcast on a Saturday or a Sunday morning. Today is not that day, but it's cold out too. It's in the mid-30s, the mid to upper 30s. But it's fine. I'm in the car. I'm in the care, a van, and I'm headed home. I have Saturday and Sunday. I have a roofer at my house. He's on the roof. He's going to finish the roof today, hopefully before it rains. And we have a new steel roof. It'll be the last roof I ever install in this house, which I'm very happy about. This is the last kitchen I've ever done, I'll ever do in this house. It's the last bathroom I ever do in this house. The bedrooms are done. The living room is the last room. And then we get to the outside with the landscaping. I'm getting air conditioning in April, air conditioning with heat. It's one of those furnaces that does both. And it's good. It's kind of like central air, but not really. Supposedly it's not central air. But anyway, because the heat furnace is on the inside and the air conditioner on the outside. Doesn't matter, but I'm happy about it because, hey, man, I neglected this house for 25 years. I've neglected my life for 25 years. I'm still neglecting it, but I'm getting certain things done. Creature comforts. What are your creature comforts? Do you have air conditioners in the window? How's your furnace? Is your furnace old? Is it on its way out? Did you get a brand new furnace? We got a brand new furnace like 3, 4, 5 years ago that our overzealous, very young neighbor who we foolishly trusted, I don't think he listens to the show, but if he does, let's just call him Greg. If Greg listens to the show, that's not his name, but if Greg listens to the show, hey Greg, guess what? You're a little young, and you were a little young, and you were a little overzealous. He installed a furnace that was like way too, with the BTUs. It was way too big. It was sucking up. This thing is sucking up so much air. It's looking for air that my house doesn't have. Supposedly, it's been inefficient. It's supposed to be like 96% inefficient. Supposedly, it's been a lot less than that. So we're hoping to see a decrease in our electric bill. We're hoping to see an increase in cooler temperatures in the hot summer, and much more efficient heat in the wintertime. And I got to tell you, I'm working my butt off with overtime in this Chapter 11 dairy company I work for. And but now that's the overtime is going to start to not happen. I will have Wednesdays off probably every week for a long time now until this virus goes away. Anyway, so that is that. That's kind of the icebreaker. Yeah, I kind of care. How's your house doing? How are you doing with your corona lockdowns? I'm hearing a lot of people on the radio, sports radio, talk radio, they're all talking about how they're going crazy. Everybody's going stir crazy, which is really phenomenal to me. Because all anybody ever wants to do is come home and watch TV. And I know most of you have like 400 channels, 500 channels, 1,300 channels. You got the music on the satellite, whatever, the music on the cable. You got 20 different, 40 different easy listening 80s, easy listening 90s, metal, heavy metal, crazy metal, poisonous metal. You got the party music, 70s, 80s, 90s, 50s, 60s. Classical, easy classical, hard classical. It's like forget it. You got so much music on your TV. You got so much TV on your TV. You got your computer there. Although I'm curious, in your neck of the woods, has your strength, your signal strength, gone down because everybody is home and using it? I think ours did. I was struggling last week with the internet. I don't know what it's going to be this weekend, but I have a lot of work to get done. I really do. With Dumbing It Down with Dave and with Dave's Fit Life, my YouTube channel that you can find on YouTube, Dave's Fit Life. So I am not going stir crazy. First of all, I haven't stopped working. But I do believe, and I've said this because people say, when you retire, you should make sure you have something to do. And I go, yeah, I know. I'm doing that. But I truly believe that if there was a contest, I would win. But there's never going to be a contest. I could retire, and I could come home, not go away, not have a big fun trip like I'm going to do. And I could just sit there day after day with a remote in my hand, watching TV, sleeping 2 hours here, 3 hours there, eating. I could go exercise and stuff, but I'm telling you, folks, I know right now I could do nothing for a long time. A very, very long time. I've done everything for 56 years. So, believe me, I believe I could spend the next 56 years doing nothing. That would make me 112. Yeah, I believe I could do that. I believe I could find ways to find the very first Andy Griffith show and watch that from beginning to end. I get Hulu or whatever. I would get whatever I needed to entertain me. I could sit in my living room, and I'm telling you, I could sit there and watch TV. Would I ever read a book? Ugh, that's a tough one. No, I would probably never read a book because nothing is interesting to me. I don't care about this guy's novel, whatever, if it's Grisham or the guy that writes the, the president, always in trouble, whatever. I forget his name. All these guys that write these novels, these bestsellers. Harry Potter? No. Cookbooks? No. Well, cookbooks maybe, but you don't read a cookbook like a novel. So, no, I wouldn't be. Maybe a magazine, but I wouldn't want to subscribe unless it was something that related to sitting on a couch doing nothing. If there was a magazine about shut-ins, modern shut-in, yeah, I would read modern shut-in. Today's modern shut-in will sit down anywhere between 8 to 12 hours a day or night on his or her couch. And these are the best shut-in foods. These are the best shut-in recipes. How to be a shut-in and still have energy to get through your sleep or whatever. All these different articles would be a great magazine. Modern shut-in. Popular shut-in would be the alternate competitor. There would be popular shut-in and there would be modern shut-in. And I guess, for those that live in those wooded areas in the, teeny houses and stuff like that, there would be rustic shut-in. Yeah, I'm probably sitting on a gold mine of ideas right now. All right. Or, and of course, maybe I would spin off into modern recluse. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know how that all works. I have to, find myself an editor. I know there used to be this guy named Ted Kaczynski. He could write. The guy could write. He didn't make a lot of sense, but he could write. So I have to find a guy. I don't think he's available anymore. But I would have to find a guy like Ted Kaczynski to help me write for my new magazines, Modern Shut-In or Popular Shut-In, and then, Rustic Shut-In, And then maybe I would have a TV show called This Old Shut-In, where, we would go from house to house and we would see where these people live. And, yeah. But it wouldn't be like hoarders. I don't want it to be like all gross and disgusting. These would be well-to-do shut-ins. These are people who choose, physically, mentally, spiritually, choose to stay home. Because they know there's nothing out there that's really that important they have to get to. And maybe they became shut-ins during the Corona era. Maybe. Or maybe like me, it's something they've always aspired to. Yeah, this isolation thing is nothing to me. I don't know what is so hard for people to not see other people and not communicate. I don't see. You should start a podcast. If it really bothers you to be alone, don't start a podcast. But no, if you want to have some people in your life, start a podcast. Talk about living in your house, doing nothing. People will listen to that, and then you can have your little community of all your shut-in friends. You could Zoom. You could do a Zoom thing out of it. There's so many possibilities when you officially classify yourself as a shut-in. Listen, I've done 209 episodes so far. By the way, welcome to episode 210. Thank you to Alex Exum at the top of the show for doing the intro. AlexExum.com. ALEXEXUM. That was his voice that said, "Hi, Dave." And the other voice you heard was Hal in Philly, who's enjoying the Halpocalypse. He's enjoying his Halpocalypse in the basement of his house in Philly, and you can hear him do Tales of the Road Warrior. He's got some new episodes up, very interesting, new artists, young women who sing very well, and that's Tales of the Road Warriors, and there's also It's Easy When You Know How. Some new episodes hopefully coming soon for It's Easy When You Know How. Hopefully he'll tell you how easy it is when you know how to enjoy the Halpocalypse. All right, I also want to give a quick shout-out before I forget, because I almost forgot. Let me get to it. We got a military shout-out. I haven't done these, and I feel a little bit bad about it. I mean, I've had a couple of 4th of July shows and Memorial Day shows, all these different types of shows where I would have given a shout-out, but I didn't know this guy existed. So this is thanks to our good friend Pat Mason, who's a regular listener to the show and a great commenter, as well as Linda Irwin from Awesome Insanity Surfers, who provides AI voices to us. And did we hear one? No, we had Hal. No, we didn't have one today, did we? No, we had a Hal. All right, so anyway, but of course, Linda Irwin with the AI assistance from Awesome Insanity Surface. It's interesting that Awesome Insanity is AI. I wonder if there's some sort of correlation between the fact she has a lot of AI voices in her show, and her show is called Awesome Insanity Surface, AI. I don't know what the S would stand for, but I wonder if there's code in there somewhere. She'll explain it if she wants to. All right, a big shout out to Sergeant. By the way, if you guys know anybody in the military that's serving, send it to me via Dumb with Dave. Tweet me at Dumb with Dave. Email me at dumbingitdownwithdave@yahoo.com. That's DUMB. Yeah, and I'll give these military personnel a shout out. If you have a picture of this person, let me know. I'll put it on my Facebook page. Yeah, I'll put pictures of them serving in their military uniform, serving in Afghanistan. I'll post pictures of them and we'll pay tribute. We'll make them the fan of the week. Here you go. Here's today's fan of the week. Actually, I don't know if this guy's actually heard the show, but Pat Mason told me about him, and he shared the show with him, and he's hoping he brings it with him to Afghanistan, and I get popular out there in old Afghani land. That's what the kids call it. It's called Afghani land. I don't know if it's called that. All right, a big tribute and salute, and of course, thank you for your service. A phrase I can't stand, but whatever. I get it. Big salute to Sgt Christopher Testa. Sgt Christopher Testa from Fort Hood, Texas. Well, you couldn't write that any better, right? Of course he's from Fort Hood, Texas. It's not going to be from East New York, Brooklyn. Nobody that... Whatever. Of course, Fort Hood, Texas. Sgt Christopher Testa from Fort Hood, Texas. Now serving in Afghanistan. He's a Special Forces Forward Observer in the U.S. Army, the United States Army. Well, thank you very much, Sgt Christopher Testa, for your service and doing the job that you're doing out in Afghanistan. I specifically don't know what your mission is. I'm just saying I don't know. I'm not saying I don't understand what you're doing out there. I don't know what goes on out there. It's been a long time since I've been in the Navy. But whatever you're doing, I know that, in the nicest way possible, I know you're in the line of fire. I know that you're making a great sacrifice for the United States of America. And you are out there helping make America great again. You are giving us the freedom to do what we need to do. I know that because I served as well. So, and thank you to Pat Mason, also a great patriot. Listen, I'm not going to have that type of show where I say a great warrior, a great patriot. Everybody's great. Listen, we're all great patriots. Listen, and by the way, I am not the greatest patriot. I would move out of this country in a heartbeat. I've already tried to move to Australia. For years, I tried to move to Australia. I am not married to the United States of America. And Sgt Christopher Testa and all the people who serve in all the military branches, including the Coast Guard, that's a joke, they are fighting for the right for me to be able to stay here in the United States or leave. I can leave. And I wouldn't leave out of anger. I would just leave because I am nomadic. I don't believe that I have to stay in this country forever. I don't think that's really the way it has to be. I know it's not the way it has to be. And not because of the corona thing. This is years ago. I was hooked up with all these mailing lists, and I was doing all this research, and I was ready to work in the mines. I was going to go work in the mines. Or I was going to get a job as a truck driver in Australia, in Western Australia, I think. That didn't happen because, of course, there's somebody else in my life. And if there's anything fun and adventurous, you can always count on her to put the kibosh on it. Kibosh. Kibosh. I need a sound effect for that. Kibosh. So that didn't happen. We never moved. And I do envision a life. By the way, did you know that there's a word called envisage? E-N-V-I-S-A-G-E. Somebody wrote me a letter the other day, and they say we envisage, which is the same thing, like to envision, but it's E-N-V-I-S-A-G-E. There you go. That's your spelling word of the week, of the episode. But, yeah, I envision traveling, and I would love to go somewhere, and not just travel every day, travel, find a community, go, hey, this is a nice place to live. Go to the diner, see if they need a dishwasher, or maybe I'm making enough money off of my annuity and my Social Security and whatever it is I got going on, and just live there. Live there for as long as I want, 3 weeks, 3 months, whatever, and then move on. I would love to do that. That would be like my fantasy life. Which, by the way, really, it's not much of a fantasy. But I don't want to live in Saugerties the rest of my life. I don't want to die in Saugerties. That's for sure. So, no drink break today. We're going to keep on pushing through. I don't have a drink handy next to me, and I really don't want to spend it. I could just pause it. I probably should, because my throat does hurt a bit. Hold on. Okay. So, just took a drink break, and that felt good. Do I sound better? I feel better. So, I am, by the way, in regards to episode, 209, the episode before this, the Metamucil Challenge, I think I'm on day 2 or day 3. I signed up and then I got an email like the next day. So I guess they're going to send me 14 emails in a row. So I am doing, in fact, the Metamucil Challenge. I'm going to do like 2 20-ounce drinks a day. I'm going to take one right before I go to sleep, and I'm going to take one on the way to work. So that'll be somewhere between 4 to 6 hours apart. So, I'll probably take it like when I get home, like not before I go to bed, but like when I get home. I'll stir one up, and that'll be my drink when I get home. And then the other one will be, I'll try to make it like 6-7 hours apart. And I guess I'm feeling better, but the problem is this week I barely did 50 hours. Normally I do 60 and 70 hours. So my hours are really much less this week. I have been home a little bit more. I have not been working, and I didn't do an overtime day. So I'm going to feel better right there. I had a pain in my head last week because the week before I did 66 hours and I broke down 3 times in 2 days, twice in one night. But this week I didn't break down at all. So I would feel better anyway. So it's going to be a little hard to gauge the effects, the positive effects of the Metamucil. But I'm on day 1 or day 2 right now. Yesterday was day 1. Today's day 2. And the other day I was home on Wednesday. That would have been my day 2, but I forgot to take it. I ended up having a couple of beers instead. Not that there's anything wrong with that. So, okay, let's get back. Everybody's talking Corona like crazy. And are you sick of it? Does it make you crazy to talk about it? The whining is the hard part for me. When people whine about being stir crazy, when people whine about being bored, I'm like, not only do you have a TV with 400, 500, 1,000 channels, how about you shut off the TV? How about you try to read something? How about you try to write something? Read something, write something. How about creating something? How about going to the store and making a meal like you've never made before? How about going with your spouse and taking a walk? I mean, this lockdown thing is good, and if you live in New York City, no, I wouldn't leave my apartment. But, except for very vital things, or I would have it delivered. But, as far as I'm concerned, I got a million hobbies. I got a million things to do. Is it different for me because I live in the woods? Yeah, maybe. I can go to my garage. A lot of people don't have a garage. I go to my garage. I got a speed bag. I got a heavy bag. I got bicycle training equipment. I got a rower. I got a lot of stuff to clean. And also you can just really start taking on these little projects. Like really go to that art store. What is it, Michael's or Linens and Things or something? They got all these projects. I don't even know if that store is open. Go to Hobby House. Go find something to do. Go find something make something with ice cream sticks. Whatever. I wouldn't be bored. Find a discipline. Maybe that's what you have to do. Maybe you have to find a discipline. And explore that. I think, and by the way, how about meditating? Go download some Headspace. If you don't know how to do it, send me a tweet at dumbwithdave or email me at dumbingitdownwithdave@yahoo.com and I'll share with you my app. I'll do an app share. I don't get credit for it. It'd be nice if I had an affiliate relationship with it. Try meditating. You'll feel better. You'll totally feel better. It'll be hard at first, but you'll learn how to do it. Are you doing a push-up a day? Well, maybe you should do a push-up. Do one push-up. I'm not doing them, but I should do. I'm not complaining about it, though. I'm saying if you're bored, here's a great time to start making lists. Lists you want to do before the next decade, 2030. Things I want to do in my 30s, my 40s. How about goals? I want to have this amount of money saved up. How do I do it? Well, when I go back to work, this will be the money I make, and this is the budget I'm going to live on. $5 a week. $5 a week times 52 is $260 a year. $260 a year times 10 years is $2,600. Is there something you could try to afford in 10 years? Maybe a special trip, a kayaking trip. a canoe trip. Who knows? Whatever. I want to have a down payment for my house. Well, $5 a week for 52 weeks, $260 a year. That seems like a very little amount. That's a slow drip. 10 years, you'll have $2,600. You'll be able to afford an outhouse. I'm just saying, but at least it's yours. You own it. Coronavirus. It's not affecting me right now. I am concerned about it, though. I don't like watching the numbers, like a tote board on CNBC. I don't like seeing that. That worries me. I don't like seeing that at all. I don't like the fact that my father's being careless. How are your parents doing? Are they careless? Are they respectful? Doing social distancing, 6 feet, all that nuts? That nonsense? And I say nonsense in the nicest way. I believe it to be true. Oh, by the way, I have a favor to ask you. Does anybody have any friends or family in the UK? The UK being the United Kingdom, including Scotland. Anybody that I could possibly talk to via WhatsApp or Zoom meeting? I have some specific questions about the UK and Scotland that I need to speak to somebody personally, not to them through you. So please let me know if you have anybody that would be willing to talk to me, not on the air. I don't have to record it. I just want to ask some questions about the UK and Scotland. So please let me know. Also, continue to let me know if you hear any foreign voice commercials before, during, or the end of my podcast. I know a couple of weeks ago, a couple of you wrote down Spanish. You heard Spanish voice. I'm curious if you've been hearing Czechoslovakian or German, Armenian, like whatever voice that is something you don't recognize and is not Spanish or Italian or French. Something that sounds harsh. Like that. Like something really like, wow, what language is that? I don't know, but it sounds like they're declaring war on us. Whatever. So, sounds like they're angry. They're angry because they're cold and they have no toilet paper. Okay. So, I'm good with this. And by the way, I did send a letter to my HR person, and I did talk to my bosses, and I said, hey, man, you need a guy you need less of a workforce. I don't want to get texted on a Tuesday morning or Tuesday afternoon, hey, would you mind not coming in? Like it happened this week. Or Thursday, hey, would you mind not coming in? No, you know what? Why don't you just put me on a permanent 2-day or 3-day schedule? Why don't you just put me on a layoff, a voluntary layoff? I'll make a little money on the layoff. At the same time, you know that you can't count on me. I'm one less person. That makes it easy for the dispatchers because we don't have enough work. So you don't have to go around every day asking for people would they mind not coming in. Because I got to tell you, I'm never going to say no. I'm never going to say whatever. Yes, that I don't mind coming in. I'm always going to come in. I can't afford to not come in. I got this house renovation to pay for. So I sent a letter to my HR lady, and hopefully, if she does in fact let me take a voluntary layoff, which I'm sure is not going to happen, because they're going to have to offer it from the top down. You got to go with the seniority. And I'm pretty low in the seniority. My guess is they're only going to look for about 2, 3, or 4 people to take a voluntary layoff. And they'll get that in the first 10 or 15 people. That's my guess. That's my guess. And I'm not in the top 10 or 15. I don't think so. I think I'm much lower than that. Anyway, so what am I going to do this weekend? Well, I got 1 minute and 20 seconds to tell you about it. That's a good question. I'm going to get some sleep today, hopefully, because I'm tired right now. I'm rubbing my head. And, it's at the end of my day. I hope to work on my podcast. I had an interested sponsor from the UK, which is the reason why you heard me talk before. I had an interested sponsor in my show. The problem is I don't have any presence in the UK. Nobody in the UK listens to my show. Like 0.043% of my audience is from the UK. So I got to get more popular out there. In fact, I should be very popular in all the English-speaking countries. And I'm not, but I should be. So I got to work on finding out what's going on in the UK and how do I network out there in the UK. So before I forget, I have it recorded here. Let's do that. Do I have it? Oh yeah, it's at the top here. Let's see. Let's do this before I go. Thank you for listening to this episode of Dumbing It Down with Dave. Goodbye, good day, good night, good luck, good riddance, good rats. Godspeed. And great skills. Take care. All right, guys. Thank you for listening. Have a great day. Have a great episode. Have a great life. Take care. Bye.